Namaste, Sundaresan. We are delighted to have you on our talk show, Carnatic Talk. Welcome.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram, Vijayalakshmy Madam. Sai Sundar sir. I'm very happy to be part of this talk show. Namaskaram.
Namaste, sir.
We are all very informal here, so let's drop the madam and the sirs. Nane ungla Sundaresan sir nu கூப்பிடல. Of course, we have such a long history together, so much of music, so many tours we have done together in India and abroad. So
many other people are also watching us. Maybe sometimes the sir or madam is.
No, don't worry. Our Rasikas are used to us by now. So Sai had some doubts about Layam, and I said we should, have the advantage of listening to this from an expert on the subject.
Whatever little knowledge I will share. Thank you.
First of all, thanks a lot for coming on the show, Sundaresan sir. Really a pleasure to have you here. I do have a lot of questions around Mridangam, and just this morning we were talking. We haven't spoken much about Layam, and then there you are. So that's amazing. One of the first questions that I have is, obviously we know that in Carnatic music we all don't train together. When you go to Partha class, you go to Partha class. People go to Mridangam class separately. It's not like everything is everybody sits next to each other and they train together. But in a concert, it's not like the band culture in other forms of music, It could be absolute strangers who come and play Mridangam, but there is some wavelength, there is a synchronization, and you produce such amazing music together. So what is the code language or the silent communication that happens between the vocalist and the Layam exponent on the stage?
The thala here, as a Layam, that plays a central coordination formula madri. That will be the hidden formula which will bring that coordination. Of course, the singer is showing the thala while they sing, then that gives us the communication, understanding between all of us on the stage to see what is going to happen. So that's what the teamwork is ultimately. So we have to be in a kind of face-to-face communication, certain amount of body language understanding. So that will definitely bring a coordination on the stage, and that is what the science behind it. So absolutely the thala will definitely give the coordination understanding for all the team.
While we are getting Sundaresan to divulge many secrets, we first must get him to share his secret about his Gurukula Vasam. He has had a very, very unusual journey on that. Right, Sundaresan? Would you please tell our Rasikas about your journey, how you started learning Mridangam?
Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Enoda Mudal Guru, Enoda Tagapana, my father is my first Guru. I started learning from him, and after a couple of years learning under him, he decided, okay, now I have to send him to another teacher in the Gurukula system and let him learn. So several options has come, but finally, the Guru Amera Bhagyam nu solluvaanga. You must be given a blessing. This is what going to be your Guru. So that blessing comes towards Ella Venkateshwara Rao sir. I have adopted the Gurukula system, and I have traveled from Salem. We were living in Salem at that time, so I was asked to go. One fine morning, my father said, now today you are leaving. So that's how, almost like today. So I started my journey towards Hyderabad. When I was 14, I was no clue about what is the regional language in Hyderabad and how the people and how I am going to be reaching my Guru. I have no idea. That is the real beginning of that adventure. So I took that journey through my father's a boss who was a timber merchant, who also my fan. He took me in his car, and and dropped me in Bangalore, buying a Hyderabad bus ticket for 16 rupees, and he has put me on a bus. Then I reached Hyderabad. My father was inspired by Yella Venkateshwar also. Then he decided, no, this is the person I have to really send my son. And I was there for 7 to 8 years in the Gurukula Parampara system. Then I was asked to go and start my career. I came to Kalakshetra to start my journey.
That is so exciting, Sundaresan, to think of a time when you just get onto a bus and go to an unknown place and no address, no numbers, and they don't know that they have to expect you. Sai, can you even imagine that in today's time?
I'm still stuck in 16 rupees. Bangalore airport to Bangalore is $1,000 today. So 16 rupees from Bangalore to Hyderabad. I'm still processing that.
Apart from all these things, I was given 20 rupees by my father's employer in my pocket when I board the bus. Keep this for your journey. That 20 rupees was my journey to start. My father has very minimum resource, so he couldn't give anything. He gave me the 20 rupees, which I started my journey.
Well, I guess it just goes to show that if you have the talent and the passion, that is what was going to take you so far in the world. And today, Sundaresan is a widely respected, much in demand, widely traveled artist. And, Sundaresan is very understated. He is so talented. He can play on so many different instruments. Would you be able to give us a small demo of that, Sundaresan, for the benefit of our Rasikas?
Absolutely. So I am not so much talented. Maybe I have my stuff in my hand, whatever hard work I did in this. So I would be very happy to share my little knowledge. Today I have the mridangam. So the Nandigeshwara Vajyam in front of me. I have the kanjira, the instrument, a single-handed instrument, tambourine. My teacher has encouraged me to play all these instruments. So when he plays the Talabadya Kacheri, I used to give support with the kanjira or gatam or morsing and the other instruments. That's how I have been initiated into practice the other instrument also. So the kanjira, also the morsing. It's
Awesome.
known as Jewish harp, maybe mouth harp, mouth string, whatever. But this is a typical Indian instrument. Every region has their own structure of instrument, but the Indian instrument, you can tune it to a specific pitch. This instrument is morsing, which also popularly you can see in the Carnatic concert. So I have these instruments around me. The other one is punakul, saying the mridangam jatis with vocalization. You have to say it like how the mridangam sounds. It's not just you say it like reading a book. Like how the mridangam sounds. That's what the ideology of saying konakul, not just mathematics also. So that's how you have to produce the rhythmic syllables, like producing certain phrase of swaras from the nabi. Different region of you producing the octaves, the lower octave you go, it has to be produced from there.
It's almost like singing from what you're saying,
so
with that bhava.
Nakata ding 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 nakata ding 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 and the மாதிரி அந்த சொற்களை சொல்லும் பொழுது you should feel you are the mridangam. So that's I try to do my level best with my little knowledge. So I am going to take the Mishra Korepu here. Since I have to play this instrument also, I'll just briefly take the Mishra Korepu. What is Mishram? It is the sevens. Korepu, when it comes, we take 8 times of 7, like beginning. So the 56, 8 times of 7, the 56. When it comes to Aditala, the Korepu, what you can comfortably handle is Mishra Korepu. So it starts, the 56 starts from this second akshara. I am taking the Urukalai Chaukam here. Urukal. So it starts from the ring finger. We have 4 matras for every akshara. It's simple mathematics. 4 akshara for, 4 matras for every akshara. The Aditala has 8 aksharas, and since 8 multiplied with 4, we have 32 matras. So taking 2 cycles, you have 64. Out of that, you leave 8 matras and start from the ring finger. Ding get na tum ta, 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 ding get na tum ta. This is how the fundamental concept to approach the Mishra Korepu. Because that thing get na tum is a default Sullukattu for 7. So ding get na tum ta, 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 ka ding ta get ta tam. Ta ding ta ding ta ka ding ta ding ta ding ta ka ding ta ding ta ding ta ding ta ka ding ta ding ta ding ta ding ta ka ding ta ding. Let me handle it like a continuous Korepu. Making it to 4 times of 7, the next stage, and then the 2 times of 7, and then the 1 time of 7, and then the conclusion of that Korepu. The Korepu is interesting when there are several artists, but here I am the only one. I'm just bringing it as an example. Ding ta ding ta ka ding ta ding ta ding ta ding ta ta ding ta ding ta ding ta ding ta ta ding ta ding ta ding ta ding ta ke jodo ta ke ding dum. dum. Tata ding get that dum. Tadi get a dum. Tati get down, tati get a dum. Ding 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 get a dum. Chudu that. Ding that. Ding that. Tati get a dum. Tati get a dum.
Whoa! It's like a one-man band.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Thank you so much, Sundaresan.
It is very essential.
Sundaresan.
Person sitting here to put tala. So that's what even the single person, the coordination when you handle this, if there is a tala support in front, it would have been a great thing. That's what I wanted to say here. Yes.
So, Sundaresan sir, you did mention about your learning from a very young age in Gurukula Vasam mode. But today's practical realities, I'm not sure how much it allows, the feasibility to continue Gurukulam and all of that. In today's circumstance, with a lot of digital learning and all of that in place, what are the challenges in pursuing Mridangam, in terms of learning, and what exactly is the right age? Because a lot of my friends who are around 30, 32, 35 want to start learning Mridangam. They really like the, instrument, the sound of it, and they're just in love with it, but they're not very sure if it's the right time to start. So some thoughts around it would be very helpful.
Yeah, good question. So, to start the learning Mridangam, the right age, you can say the finger must have some strength, a little bit of because when it is so tender, though we can say I started learning from the age of 3 or anything, the fingers are not really flexible to bring a strong strokes. It's for the interest sake we can give, because if the kid is very hyperactive and then want to do something, okay, I think we have to put him under the learning mridangam or some percussion, so that the energy will be compensated by learning some art form. Those thought process are okay, but what is the right age means at least the 6, completing the 6. So the student will sit in front of the teacher and listen for a couple of minutes what he is trying to say, how he is molding his finger to adapt the finger movements, and then the posture of the finger. These are all very important right from the beginning.
That's very nice. So is it okay for somebody to start so late, like you mentioned about 30, 32?
Absolutely, there's nothing wrong. You start at any age. Any age you can start. It's after all, it's your interest. Maybe they get inspiration when the kids started playing, their own kids when they start playing, and they wanted to revive their knowledge. So they come. Of course, we have to encourage their interest. And some of the grandparents seeing their, grandchildren learning Mridangam. Sir, is it possible I can start learn Mridangam? Yes, why not? You can.
Sundaresan, I was a little curious to know, on an average today, if somebody wants to buy a mridangam, what would the cost of a good mridangam be? A full-size mridangam?
The instruments on different size, they charge more.
Right.
So the common size is 24 inch and the 22 inches.
Okay.
So the 22 inches mridangam, when I lost previously, the last time when I bought, it was somewhere around 16,000, something like that. Maybe 14,000. But
okay. So the reason I'm asking is because I know I've seen you on travel also and heard from other musicians that the cost of maintaining the mridangam is reasonably high because of the sadam bodano, and then sometimes you have to replace the moot and things like that. So I'm just curious because I've been reading so many things. I mean, all of us have in the recent past. So you use a lot of cow leather, right, in making a mridangam. So typically, if you had a big healthy cow, how many mridangam mootus would be possible from one cow? Just on an average, I'm trying to understand this.
It depends the skin quality. The skin quality is differ even within a cow.
Okay.
A cow has a full skin, which is taken for so depending on the dia of the motor, they make the circle and cut the skin.
Right.
If the cow has any damage in the skin because of somebody hurt the cow also while roaming on the street side or something, that damage is there in the skin. So what happened when you take the skin, that portion you cannot use. So somewhere you have to compromise. Exact number you cannot say. Maybe 6, 7 mridangams, the right hand side motive you can make, because that much what my calculation is. There can be possibilities. The remaining skin, if there is, they can use it as a supplement skin. Like certain areas, there will be 2, 3 layers of skin. So they use not the full skin size skin, a part of the which is possible.
Actually, what got me thinking about this question is, I buy fresh cow's milk every day. And a couple of days back, my milkman told me, Andhra-lendu vaangirukkenma maadu 1.5 lakhs ruwa aachu. So that got me thinking, if you are going to pay 1.5 lakhs, 1.5 lakhs for a cow, for a mridangam maker, how many mridangams can you make? And is it really cost effective to be able to do this?
Yes, you are correct. The 1.5 lakhs could be true, because I have also heard the same range, because depending on the cow's quality, the prices are different. So it is not obviously you can choose a cow, or this is what the cow you have to bring it to make mridangam, and paying that cow that much heavy price and then get it is not at all going to be possible. But as far as my interaction with the mridangam makers, they do get skin with a lot of big challenges, because the skin industry is so large. It has been started very long back. Way back, the industry has started flourishing by export leather here and there, making vanity, belt, shoes, and all kind of leather equipment. So one cannot say a cow or any other animal is being killed exclusively for the sake of mridangam. If somebody is doing that, means that then the mridangam will be costing like 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs, one mridangam. One cannot afford to buy a mridangam of 2 lakhs and get a concert remuneration. for his transport.
Well, thank you, Sundaresan, for sharing that information. I think it just goes to show that we need to be up on things and try to understand, the economics behind these things and not believe everything that we are told or what we read. We have to be aware of the dynamics of the various industries. Anyway, thank you very much for sharing this information with us. Sai, you had one more interesting question. I don't want to hijack your question.
Yeah, so the question is, you did beautifully answer that Layam is the fundamental ticking clock, and based on which the entire thing, is set in a concert. Hence, the synergy is there. But I'm still curious to understand how you communicate. What is the synergy between the vocalist and the mridangist, and if it's possible to demonstrate, yeah, why not? I mean, it'll be wonderful for me to witness.
Sundaresan, why don't we do a music and mridangam conversation for Sai and for our Rasikas? Right? So let me set the context. These are COVID times, difficult times, where especially for children, where they're cooped up inside the house, they're not allowed to go out and meet their friends. So let me pretend to do the role of a young child who's asking her father if she can go out and play with her friends. And she's trying to convince her father, saying, it's not just me, see, so and so, so many of my friends are playing. Please, 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 please let me go. And this is the context. And I'm going to be the child here. And Sundaresan, for this conversation, you're going to be the dad who's responding to the child in this context. Right?
Okay, sure, interesting.
Okay. Appa, my dear Appa. What a demanding dad you are, Sundaresan.
Wow.
You're a tough dad. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us and talking to us about so many aspects of life, right, Sai?
Totally. I mean, it was extremely enlightening and eye-opening, and a lot of things, a lot of questions we had in mind were answered. Basic learning length from the mridangam making. So thank you so much for taking the time out, and that solo tani which you did is going to stay in our memories for a really, really long time, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Sundaresan. And I'm sure when we are done with the restrictions of social distancing and all, we'll be able to spend time and talk about how the mridangam accompaniment for music is required, whether it's vocal, and maybe we could, at a time when we can sit together and do this recording, that would be lovely. But in the meanwhile, thank you so much. Namaste, Vandanam, Vanakkam.
Namaste. Looking forward to any kind of support I can do. Thank you so much.